Kaufman County 911.
Yes, sir. We've got a gentleman on Grove Street and Madison that just got shot.
You got a shot in his face. There you go. There you go. There you go, buddy. Keep breathing for me.
Mark Hasser was 57 years old. He was the Chief Assistant District Attorney for Kaufman County. He had been shot multiple times just steps from the courthouse, where he had spent his career putting criminals away. Witnesses said the shooter was dressed all in black, face covered. He fled the scene in the passenger seat of a silver sedan. Mark died at the hospital shortly after. The man who gave the order to kill him had known Mark for years. He had worked in that same courthouse. He had sat behind a bench and dispensed justice. He was a judge. Kaufman County sits about 30 miles east of Dallas. It's the kind of place where everybody in the legal community knows everybody else. The prosecutors, the defense attorneys, the judges all move through the same courthouse, attend the same events, recognize each other across the parking lot. Mark Hasser had spent decades in that world. He was known as a tough, uncompromising prosecutor, the kind of attorney who didn't cut corners and didn't care if the defendant had connections. He was well-liked and well-respected. His boss was District Attorney Mike McClelland. Mike was the face of prosecution in Kaufman County, loud, confident, the kind of DA who made public statements looking directly into the camera.
My name's Mike McClelland. I'm the criminal district attorney for Kaufman County. We lost a really, really good man. I hope that the people that did this are watching, because we're very confident that we're going to find you. We're going to pull you out of whatever hole you're in, and we're going to bring you back and let the people of Kaufman County prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law.
Mike meant every word of that. What he didn't know, couldn't have known, was that the man he was looking for had watched that statement, had listened to every word, and had already decided that Mike was next. Eric Williams had been a justice of the peace in Kaufman County, an elected official, a man who had presided over minor legal matters, small claims, traffic violations, the routine machinery of local justice. In 2012, that career came to an abrupt end. Eric was convicted of theft. He had stolen 3 computer monitors from the county. The prosecution was handled by Mark Hasser and supervised by Mike McClelland. Eric was found guilty, stripped of his law license, and removed from office. He received probation. To most people in Kaufman County, it was a minor scandal. A footnote, a local official who made a bad decision and faced the consequences. To Eric Williams, it was the end of everything he had built, his career, his identity, his standing in the community, destroyed by 2 men who worked in the same courthouse he used to call his own. The conviction was handed down in 2012. Mark Hasser was murdered on January 31st, 2013. The math was simple. Nobody just didn't see it yet. 2 months after Mark Hasser was shot outside the courthouse, Kaufman County was still reeling. Investigators had theories, but no solid leads. The silver sedan had not been found. The shooter in black had not been identified. Then, on the morning of March 30th, 2013, friends and family who had been unable to reach Mike McClelland and his wife Cynthia went to their home to check on them. The front door was unlocked.
District Attorney Mike McClelland and his wife Cynthia have been found shot to death.
It is the second shooting of a prosecutor in the small Texas town this year, coming just 2 months after Assistant District Attorney Mark Hasser was shot dead outside the local courthouse on his way to work.
When the family stepped inside, they noticed shell casings at their feet immediately. Moving through the house, they found Cynthia lying motionless in a pool of blood. Mike was further in, shot multiple times. Both were dead. The home security system showed all movement had stopped at 6:42 a.m. Whoever had done this had come before sunrise, killed them both, and vanished. Now 3 people connected to the same courthouse were dead. The entire law enforcement community in Texas went on high alert. Hundreds of investigators descended on Kaufman County. Tips poured in from the public. Most were noise. One was different. It came in on Easter Sunday night, submitted through the anonymous Crime Stoppers tip line.
Do we have your full attention now? Only a response from Judge Bruce Woods will be answered. You have 48 hours.
Law enforcement decided to respond.
You have our attention. How can the county judge contact you?
Law enforcement responded through the same system. They had the county judge post a reply. 12 hours later, the anonymous tipster wrote back. The message confirmed the type of ammunition used in the McClelland murders, a detail that only the killer and law enforcement knew.
Your act of good faith will result in no other attacks this weekend.
Then came the demand. One of the 4 main Kaufman County judges had to resign. That resignation would be proof of good faith. In exchange, the killings would stop.
Woods must offer a resignation of one of the 4 main judges in Kaufman. My superiors will see this as a first step, ending our action. Do not report any details of this arrangement. You have until Friday at 4 p.m. We are not unreasonable, but we will not be stopped.
We are working on your demands. A lot has been put out to the media. Can you give us additional details that are specific to this case and not known by the press?
Meanwhile, investigators continued working every angle. They revisited Eric Williams, who had been looked at briefly after Mark's murder and dismissed. His conviction had been minor. He had no violent history. He seemed like a long shot, but someone tipped off an investigator. Eric had a storage unit. He rented it under his wife Kim's name. On April 13th, 2013, 2 weeks after the McClelland murders, officers executed a search warrant on the storage unit. Inside, a white Crown Victoria, police uniforms, badges, bulletproof vests with "Sheriff" printed on the front, an arsenal of weapons, knives, a crossbow, multiple firearms, ammunition consistent with all 3 murders, and, in glass mason jars, homemade napalm. The white Crown Victoria matched witness descriptions of a vehicle seen near the McClelland residence the morning of the murders. Storage facilities surveillance footage placed the car entering the lot at 6 a.m., leaving 12 minutes later, then returning at 7 a.m., 17 minutes after the time the McClelland home security system recorded all movement stopping. A single stray bullet, found in a bag away from the rest of the ammunition, was sent to forensics. It matched the weapon used to kill the McClellands. They also eventually located a silver Mercury Sable, the getaway car from Mark Hassey's murder, which had been towed from the storage facility's parking lot after sitting there too long. Eric Williams and his wife Kim were arrested on April 13th, 2013. Kim Williams was Eric's wife. She had been the getaway driver for both murders. She had known what was going to happen each time, and she had agreed to participate. In the interrogation room, Kim was initially defensive. She protected Eric. She deflected. But over hours, as detectives laid out what they had found in that storage unit, her guard began to drop. Prosecutors offered Kim a deal: plead guilty to Mark Hassey's murder, testify against Eric in the penalty phase of his trial, and receive 40 years rather than life or death. Kim accepted. She was protected by spousal immunity during the guilt phase. She could not be compelled to testify against her own husband, but as part of her plea, she agreed to take the stand during the penalty phase, after Eric was already convicted. When she did, she told the jury everything.
It was a cold day, and there was excitement in the air. He came up with a plan to dress like law enforcement. He was modeling it for me.
Describe to the members of the jury what he was modeling for you the night before.
I want to say he looked like he was in the Army or SWAT. He had a bulletproof vest that had sheriff on the front. That more than likely Mrs. McClellan was going to answer the door and he was going to introduce himself as a policeman.
Eric had dressed in full police gear, vest, uniform, badge, knowing that Cynthia McClelland would open the door for a law enforcement officer without hesitation.
She would be there as a witness, and he described it as collateral damage.
What did he tell you about how Cynthia McClellan died?
He told me that he had to shoot her an extra time because she was still moaning. We had steaks on the grill, and Eric cooked those.
At your parents' house?
At my parents' house.
Were you all celebrating with steaks?
That's correct.
The night Eric Williams murdered a district attorney and his wife, he and Kim celebrated with a steak dinner at her parents' house. Kim then described the night she had also driven for Mark Hassey's murder, the first killing 2 months earlier.
Did you agree to drive?
Yes, I did.
You knew what was going to happen.
Yes, I did.
Why did you agree to drive to the murder of Mark Hassey?
I was so drugged up, and I so believed in Eric and everything that he told me. His anger was my anger.
As you're driving away from the scene of the Hassey murder, what is his mood like?
Happy.
What is your mood like?
Happy.
She also told the jury about the night Eric drove to a bridge and threw a bag into the lake below.
Do you know what was in the bag?
I knew that it was guns.
Investigators spent 7 months searching that lake. What they eventually pulled from the bottom was not a bag. It was a Halloween mask Eric had worn during Mark's shooting to conceal his face. Inside the mask, 2 revolvers. One of them confirmed by forensics as the weapon that killed Mark Hassey. Kim also revealed that Eric's hit list had not ended with Mark and the McClellans.
And who else?
Judge Ashworth.
How did he tell you he was going to kill Judge Ashworth?
He was going to shoot him with the crossbow.
What was the napalm for?
I guess to drive in an extra kind of FU. He's going to bore a hole in his stomach and pour it in.
The crossbow and the mason jars of napalm were in that storage unit. Eric Williams had been working through it methodically. Eric Williams was charged with 3 counts of capital murder. Prosecutors made a strategic decision. They would try him first for only 1 charge, the murder of Cynthia McClelland, so that if anything went wrong, they would still have 2 more chances. The guilt phase began in December 2014. The defense acknowledged the evidence was substantial, but argued it fell short of proving Eric's guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. No known murder weapon had been definitively tied to him, and no one could place him physically inside the McClelland home.
Eric Williams did not commit these murders. There is no known murder weapon in this case. There's no one who can place Eric Williams in that scene at the McClellan home. No one.
The prosecution countered with the storage unit footage, the bullet match, the timeline, and the anonymous Easter Sunday tip, which investigators had traced back to an IP address connected to Eric.
This is my chance to tell you the story of the murders of Mike and Cynthia McClellan. He sent an email into law enforcement claiming credit for the murders, thinking law enforcement would never figure it out. Well, he was wrong.
The jury deliberated for 90 minutes.
We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant, Eric Lyle Williams, guilty of capital murder as charged in the indictment.
The trial moved to the penalty phase. Kim took the stand. She told the jury about the steak dinner, about driving away from Mark's murder, feeling happy, about the napalm and the crossbow. The defense called a parade of character witnesses. It wasn't enough.
Was ordered by this court to carry out the sentence of death.
Eric Williams was sentenced to death by lethal injection. As of late 2024, he remains on death row and is appealing his conviction. Kim Williams pleaded guilty to the murder of Mark Hassey. She was sentenced to 40 years in prison.